Before we get started, let me introduce myself. I'm Veer Pandey, Principal Product Manager for Amazon Nova Sonic as part of Amazon General Intelligence.
And I'm Ankur Gandhe. I'm a Principal Scientist, also working in AGI and focusing on the Nova Sonic models.
Great, thank you. So, today we are gathered here to talk about Amazon Nova 2 Sonic, our speech-to-speech foundation model for real-time, human-like conversational AI. Before we dive deeper, let's quickly go through the different topics that we intend to cover. First, we'll be talking about the product itself and the core features that we have now enabled, key benchmarks, speech-to-speech architecture, and major use cases that our customers are using Nova Sonic for. Later on, we'll cover developer tools which make it easy for you to integrate Amazon Nova Sonic. And then we have a special guest today who will give us a demo and speak to the product they are building with Amazon Nova Sonic. After that, we'll open the floor for question answering. With that, let's get started with Amazon Nova 2 Sonic. At Amazon, we are at the forefront of building voice-enabled technologies for conversational AI, be it for Alexa or other services such as Amazon Connect for customer service call automation. Yesterday, we heard Matt Garman speak in his keynote about Amazon Nova 2 Sonic. We launched this model, which enables real-time, human-like conversational AI. It's our second generation of model, which went into general availability yesterday on 12/2. It supports speech and text input and output modalities, and it's backed by a bidirectional streaming API as part of Bedrock to enable low-latency conversations. It's available in 4 regions, IAD, PDX, ARN, and NRT, with more regions coming soon. The most important thing here is not only does this model enable smooth conversational AI, but it is also the model that offers today's industry's most quality and price-performant offering out there. Let's look deeper into some of the conversational AI features. Accurate speech understanding. This is the foremost and most fundamental thing for any kind of conversational AI application. We are proud to say that Amazon Nova 2 Sonic delivers best-in-class speech understanding with robustness to different speaking styles, accents, and even noise in the background. As I mentioned, it supports bidirectional streaming API with low user-perceived latency. This is critical for us to not only process information, streaming audio at speed, but also generate responses which seem natural and fluid in conversations. The model is capable of handling fluid dialogues, not only when it comes back with its responses, but even when the users interrupt at will or take pauses or hesitate, nonverbal cues, which tells the model to let the users finish their thought before starting to respond. Another key aspect of this model is this ability to detect not just what the user said, but how they expressed it, the tonality, the voice-based sentiment, and adapt its own responses based on that. This unlocks the ability to empathize with the users when they express frustration or elate when they express happiness and mirror the overall sentiment of the user. But any conversational application is incomplete for enterprise use cases unless it can be actually used to make tasks and complete tasks. That's why the model also delivers tool calling, knowledge grounding with responsible AI and privacy compliance. What this means is you can generate responses backed by a knowledge repository to be factually correct, or invoke other tools to accomplish tasks such as making a reservation, upgrading your membership, and so on. Now, most of what I spoke up until now was also part of Nova Sonic 1. So what's new? Let's take a look at what are the new conversational AI capabilities that we have unlocked with this launch of Nova 2 Sonic. First, additional languages. We initially started off with English back in April, added a few more languages in the July-August timeline, but now I'm proud to say we have 7 languages each with its own masculine and feminine voice supported by Nova 2 Sonic. We will dive more in details with each of those. Next, we have language switching, the ability to not just speak in one language, but switch languages at will within the same session, and the AI can come back and respond back in the user's preferred language. Another cool feature is the asynchronous task completion. As we just talked about the tool calling, APIs can take anywhere from 8 to 10 seconds or even longer. Instead of blocking on those tool responses, the Nova 2 Sonic model enables conversations fluidly where the user can switch topics and continue to talk or even talk or invoke other tools while the previous tool call is working in the background. Next, we have enabled cross-modal input-output. This was a key ask from customers who started to adopt Nova Sonic earlier, where they would like the same model to be able to handle text and speech input and keep the conversational context together. This unlocks new features, which we'll dive deeper. And then, of course, turn-taking controllability. This refers to the ability for developer being able to configure the duration of the pause that the user can take before the AI determines it's an end of a turn. Let's dive deeper into each one of these. As I mentioned, we have now launched 7 languages. English with all different variants, US, GB, India, and Australian. Indian and Australian English are the new additions with Nova 2 Sonic. Spanish, French, Italian, German, Hindi, and Portuguese. Now, as I mentioned, each of these languages not only depict the ability to understand these different languages and subdialects, but also the ability to respond in expressive, native-sounding voices. Let's take a moment to listen to one of these examples. Let me play what we have here for ENUS masculine voice in Matthew.
Welcome to AnyBank. I'm your AI assistant, and I'm excited to help you with anything you need. Want to check your accounts, learn about loan options, or explore some investment ideas? Just let me know. I'm here to make your banking experience easier and a whole lot more enjoyable.
Okay, let's try some new voices here.
Welcome to AnyBank. I'm your AI assistant, and I'm excited to help you with anything you need. Want to check your accounts, learn about loan options, or explore some investment ideas? Just let me know. I'm here to make your banking experience easier and a whole lot more enjoyable.
That was Australian English.
AnyBank में आपका स्वागत है। मैं आपका AI असिस्टेंट हूं और आपकी मदद करने में मुझे खुशी होगी। चाहे आप अपने खाते देखना चाहें, किसी लोन के बारे में जानना चाहें।
That was male for Hindi. And then lastly, let me try one for Portuguese.
Bem-vindo ao AnyBank. Eu sou a sua assistente virtual e fico super feliz em te ajudar com tudo o que você precisar no seu dia a dia financeiro. Quer olhar suas contas, saber mais sobre um empréstimo ou descobrir opções legais de investimento? É só me chamar. Quero deixar sua experiência.
Okay.
Welcome to AnyBank. I'm your AI assistant, and I'm excited to help
Welcome
you
to
with anything
AnyBank.
you need.
I'm your
Want to
AI
check your
assistant,
accounts,
and I'm excited
learn
to
about
help you
loan
with
options, or explore some investment ideas? Just let me know. I'm here to make your banking.
Welcome to AnyBank.
AnyBank
I'm your
में
AI
आपका स्वागत
assistant,
है।
and I'm
मैं
excited to
आपका
help you with
AI
anything
असिस्टेंट
you
A
हूं
little
need.
और आपकी
glitch here.
मदद करने में मुझे खुशी होगी। चाहे आप अपने खाते देखना चाहें, किसी लोन के बारे में।
Okay, lesson learned. Let's stick to the
Bem-vindo
keyboard.
ao AnyBank.
Bem-vindo
Eu
ao
sou
AnyBank.
All right. Thank you. That was quite a lot of expressive voices. Coming to language switching. So it's not only important to be able to speak expressively and with native sounding voices in a given language, but the ability to switch within the same session and speak different languages with the same voice. And that's what we have unlocked with the polyglot voices and language switching feature. Let's take a moment to see how the user was able to interact in 2 different languages and the voice stayed the same while responding expressively in either.
Hey, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? What can I help you with today?
I want to buy shoes.
That's an excellent idea. Good shoes make everything better. You'll want to think about the style you need and make sure they fit comfortably. Happy shopping!
Ich will Turnschuhe kaufen.
Das ist eine tolle Idee. Gute Turnschuhe machen alles besser. Denk daran, den richtigen Stil zu wählen und sicherzustellen, dass sie bequem sitzen.
Sind Turnschuhe teuer?
Es hängt ein bisschen vom Modell und der Marke ab, aber es gibt gute Turnschuhe in verschiedenen Preisklassen. Du findest bestimmt etwas, was zu deinem Budget passt.
Thank you, that's great. Do you think I can find blue shoes as well?
You're welcome. Absolutely. You can find blue shoes easily. Many stores offer a wide range of colors these days. Happy shopping!
Okay. So as
Hey,
you
how
saw,
are you?
the user was able to switch
there.
two different languages within the same session, and the voice was able to adapt to either and respond back. I mentioned earlier a new feature called asynchronous task completion. So as you will see in this demo, the user invokes a request which triggers a tool call in the background. And while that tool call is happening, the user is able to switch the context and the topic and have a conversation fluidly while the AI comes back and responds back on the previous tool call. Let's take a look.
While you are looking into that, can you also let me know the closest any bank home lending branch? And maybe also let me know what will happen with my escrow account.
All right, Osman, let me give you the info you asked for. First, the branch. Your closest AnyBank home lending branch is at 240 Greenwich Street, New York, 1007. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Their main phone number is 1-212-232-1420. Now, regarding your escrow account after the transfer, I'll let you know that after I share the refinance status details, which I'm pulling up right now. Okay, Osman, here's the update on your refinance and your escrow account. Your refinance application for your Palm Beach property is moving along. It's a 15-year fixed at 6.125%, and the good news is it's still pending, but we do need some documents.
So as you see, the user was asking about refinancing. While the tool was looking up details on that, he was able to switch topics and ask about escrow and other things. And the model did not lose the context. When the tool call came back, it was able to weave the response back and generate an effective response.
While you are looking into that, can you also let me know the closest?
Okay. Next feature that we want to highlight here is the cross-modal speech and text input-output. As you can imagine, a lot of enterprises would like to start off with a text bot and then add the voice interface to their text bot. When users would use this kind of an application from the mobile phone or the browser, they want to have the convenience of typing in their text input and with the press of a microphone button, switch to voice. And that's the convenience the cross-modal speech and text input enables. The demo here shows how the user was able to enter the date in text format. The model picks up that date and comes back with a speech response, after which the user continues talking through their voice. One key aspect of this feature is it's not only unlocking the cross-modal text input-output for speech and text, but it also enables new features. Customers would like to use Sonic to make outbound calls, and when they do so, they encounter IVR applications where they have to navigate DTMF tones, or some customers, when are making some inputs, maybe they want to punch in their credit card information with their phone, which also means the model has to interpret the DTMF tones. Now, with this technology, we are able to convert those into a metadata, a text metadata, that the model can interpret and therefore give the convenience to either use voice or keyboard input to enter their information. Another feature another application of this feature that customers have used for is the initial greeting. You could now give a text prompt and generate a welcome greeting at the very beginning of the session to welcome or start the conversation.
So, Osman, can you confirm your date of birth for me? Okay, Osman, I've got January 1st, 1990. Is that correct?
No, it's not.
Got it. Thanks for clarifying. So, to confirm, what's your correct date of birth? Okay, so I've got January 1st, 1980 as your date of birth. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Lastly, we talk about turn-taking controllability. We have experienced that there are customers who would like very quick turn-taking, for example, a gaming application, or there are applications where they are they're non-native speakers who are learning a new language, or certain cohorts of customers, the elderly, who may take a little longer to complete their thought or pause in between. And what our customers asked for was the ability to be able to configure the duration of the pause that the user can take before the AI determines the end of the turn. So with that in mind, we have launched the turn-taking controllability feature, which gives you 3 sensitivity settings. The highest sensitivity, which is the default setting, allows you to take a short pause of 1.5 seconds. And the highest can go up to 2 seconds, which allows the other end of it can go up to 2 seconds, which allows users to take a longer pause and be able to complete their thought. Let's take a quick look of how this plays out without actually cutting off the user's speech input.
I'm planning to visit San Diego next month for a vacation with the whole family. We have 2 kids with us. So, what places would you recommend us to visit in San Diego?
San Diego
Oh,
in
by the
December is
way,
wonderful for
what
family
will-
trips, with mild weather and many fun activities.
Let's compare the other one.
I'm planning to visit San Diego next month for a vacation with the whole family. We have 2 kids with us. So, what places would you recommend us to visit in San Diego? Oh, by the way, what will the weather be like there in December?
For your family trip to San Diego next month, here are some top recommendations. Must-visit spots include the San Diego Zoo, Legoland, California, and SeaWorld San Diego.
So basically, it's showing with more robustness to a longer pause. The response was more relevant to the user's query. They were really inquiring about the weather conditions and ideas to places to visit next month in December. But in the previous example, they were cut off early, so the response they got was not so relevant. So this gives you more flexibility to how you can tailor our turn-taking behavior of the AI to suit the different customer needs.
I'm planning to visit San Diego next month.
Okay. With that, let me call upon Ankur, who's going to walk us through some of the key benchmarks.
Thank you, Veer. And I hope you all are excited about all the new features that we're launching with Sonic 2. But it's not just the new features. We're also improving the core capabilities of the model. One feedback that we got from our customers was that the ASR, or speech understanding, of Sonic was really great. But there was still room to improvement. There was room to improve in terms of noisy conditions, and especially on things like dates and numbers, or alphanumerics, which our customers use often to get date of birth or account numbers and things like that. And with Sonic 2, we have improved on both. Compared to all the other models that we have evaluated, Sonic 2 is state-of-the-art in terms of ASR recognition. And on alphanumerics, we've improved over Sonic 1 by about 50%. It's not just the ASR. We've also improved reasoning. And compared to all the other speech-to-speech models that we compared against, Sonic has one of the best speech reasoning. So voice agents are not just for chit-chatting or asking questions. They also need to take some action based upon whatever the user is going to ask the system to do, which is why tool calling is a critical functionality that we measure Sonic against, including both simple tasks like having a few tools to call versus a complex task where you might want to call multiple tools to accomplish a task, and the async tool calling functionality that Veer was just mentioning. And based on the key use cases that our customers had with Sonic 1, we improved our model with better training and better evaluations. And on multiple benchmarks, we show that Sonic 2 has significantly improved over Sonic 1. Apart from this, for a great experience with Sonic, it's important to also evaluate the overall conversation quality. And for every single language that we evaluate on, we made sure that the quality of conversation was better than everybody else. And for that, we took human evaluators to compare our voice and our conversations against similar models, and Sonic won every single time. So Sonic is not just highly capable in doing speech understanding and doing tasks and functionality, it also sounds more expressive and natural, providing overall a great experience for anybody who is using Sonic or listening to Sonic. Now, I want to take a step back to ask a question which many people might be asking. Why did we build Sonic? Because if you guys have interacted with Alexa or with Siri, or even the more recent customer service calls, you have probably already spoken to voice agent that already exists in the wild. So why did we build Sonic? So typical voice assistants are built in a cascaded system. They have a speech-to-text model that converts speech to text. That text is then fed into a text reasoning model that will do all the reasoning, agentic workflows, and tool calling. And it generates a text response, which is then sent to a text-to-speech model. In fact, I spent most of my career working on Alexa, trying to improve this entire pipeline. And these systems work great. And in the past decade, we have made major improvements in terms of architecture and training to improve the reasoning abilities, to improve the accuracy of these models into the high 90s. So why build Sonic? We realized that these traditional voice AI systems have a constraint, that they are fragmented. Each model is designed to do a different task. And what that fragmentation does is that because each component is working on its own, it creates a bottleneck. The systems cannot talk to each other without this text. And without this common brain, you are unable to carry over context beyond what's feasible by the limitations of the system. But it's not that we didn't try. We have tried this. We have tried to build orchestration around this. For something like error recovery, we have tried to build error recovery systems that will detect when the ASR was wrong and then ask for clarification questions. We've tried to build personalization that will feed into each and every single component of this pipeline so that we get better ASR, better pronunciations, and better understanding out of it. And we have also tried to add more contextualization by carrying context through these different models. But again, the problem is that this requires a lot of orchestration designed by engineering and by scientists, and a lot of hand-holding and building feature by feature. And it's not scalable. And we also realized that even though we're building all these things, there are a lot of edge cases which could not be solved just due to the limitations of this architecture. So when foundation models came out, we saw something that could change this. We could get rid of the constraints that were in this cascaded system and truly build a conversational model that was like a human assistant. And that's what Sonic is. It's a foundation speech-to-speech model that understands and generates speech at the same time, preserving tone, prosody, and conversational flow in a single dialogue, resulting in a more natural interaction. And we did this by training over millions of hours of data, learning from human-human interactions and human-agent interactions, so that the model learns on its own how to act in different conditions, different scenarios, and different acoustic conditions. And because our training data is tailored towards specific use cases, the model just learns naturally how to do things like context carryover, how to do things like error handling. And all these improvements would not have been possible without this architectural change. And the numbers that I was showing earlier on ASR accuracy, on tool calling, and on reasoning, these have been a result of this unified architecture. Now customers don't need to build this complex orchestration trying to do everything. So with this unified LLM as its backbone, Sonic is able to naturally carry context of the entire conversation. And things like personalization through RAG or through prompting or even through some document upload can happen easily, and it's available to all the components of the model, not just a single one. One of the other feedback that we always get with voice assistants is that high latency is very annoying to somebody who's used to talking to human assistants. With this unified model, it minimizes the time that it takes to understand what the user said, reason about it, and then respond. And this significantly reduces the user perceived latency. The foundation model, as like I was mentioning before, has been trained on millions of hours of data. So it has learned naturally how to understand and responses to nuances of speech, something that would not be possible to encode in just text or some other binary functions. So when you talk, it's not just about what you're talking, but also how you're talking and the tone and the intonation of your voice. With Sonic, it learns to adapt its responses based on the prosody and the emotion of the user. We also build this model responsibly so that the entire conversation in both voice and in text stays consistent. And with every generation of the speech-to-speech model, all the abilities I was talking about will continue to improve, which is why now is the time to build with these models and give your customers a much better experience. But you know what? I think I've spoken enough about the benefits. I'll hand it back to Veer so he can talk about real customer use cases and how customers are actually using Sonic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ankur. So as you can imagine, there are a lot of different use cases that have emerged, but the three most primary use cases that have emerged are the self-service, voice-first customer service automation or interactions. Then we have voice-enabled personal assistants and education and language learning apps, which lend themselves very well for the application of this kind of speech-to-speech technology. We have key customers who are building applications and productionizing workloads with this. Those include Crescendo, iFrame, Resume, Cisco, Ring, and Amazon Connect. Here's a testimonial from the CTO of Resume, highlighting the accuracy of understanding speech, the ability to handle dialogues fluently with low latency, and overall deliver a better human-like customer experience. One thing that we learned very quickly after the launch of Sonic 1.0 was it's not just enough to deploy a model in Bedrock and provide bidirectional streaming APIs. There's more nuance to building these kind of real-time applications. And that required developers in particular to handle all the input-output signals, manage the session lifecycle, and so on. This turned out to be a last-mile problem where really deploying this and scaling to their applications took much effort on their behalf. Therefore, we have partnered with a couple of different teams here, which I want to walk through, who have made this integration seamless. Let's start with LiveKit and PipeCat. As I mentioned, these are frameworks available for conversational AI, which handle all of the input-output signaling. They abstract these so that it's easier for developers to directly integrate their mobile apps and browser applications with Sonic on Bedrock, while also managing the session lifecycle. Typically, the Bedrock supports 8 minutes of a session lifetime, but the developers would like to extend this using these frameworks and carry forward the conversational context to extend the overall cycle. Next, we have Amazon Connect. More recently, as of yesterday, in fact, Amazon Connect has now gone into GA with Nova Sonic to enable customer service call automation. This not only brings the expressivity, the fluid dialogue handling that we just talked about of Sonic, but it also unlocks the agentic capabilities of Connect AI agents and different AI tools that they bring for customer service call automation. This integration is now available for general availability in IAD and PDX regions, supporting at least 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, with more coming in Q1. And lastly, not all enterprises have a customer service contact support center. Maybe there are small business owners who would just like to enable an outbound call mechanism to maybe reach out to their customers, or while their shop is closed, they may want to receive phone calls on their behalf and take the orders, which is where telephony integration is key. Therefore, we have partnered with the likes of AudioCode, Vonage, and Twilio, which make it seamless and easy for customers to not only integrate through the telephony channel, but also extend through other ways, such as SIP telephony, which allows you to connect internet telephones through your browser or mobile app to talk to Sonic and get the same sort of conversational expressivity and dialogue that you get directly integrating through Bedrock. With that, it's time to see a partner demo. And it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Amay Parandekar, who is the VP of Product Management at Cisco Calling, who would like to speak about what he is doing with Nova Sonic.
Hey, thanks, Veer. Thank you for having me. You folks having a good show so far? Yeah, it's amazing to be here, and we have a great partnership with AWS over the years. I'm Amay Parandekar. I work for Cisco. I lead product for our voice platform that powers our calling, our contact center, and so on. Just a quick show of hands, how many of you deal with voice workloads or manage them, right? Quite sizable. Or how many of you work with customer service enablement type roles, right? So what's happening, we're here to talk about how AI is changing the overall like voice-enabled workload ecosystem, right? So on our side, Cisco is a big networking powerhouse, but we have networking, security, devices, and collaboration, right, all together. And by that I mean, we serve the largest financial service houses, for example, all of the Wall Street banks. We look at the largest development bank in the world is our customer. We have large retailers, including Amazon on our platform, all of the pharmacies, most of the governments across the world, including the US government, and healthcare, which is huge for us too. And we have over 50 million users on our platform, and then we enable about 1.5 billion minutes in the AI assistant that we have built on the Amazon platform, right? On the other side, we also have Apex Contact Center, which essentially is a contact center like Amazon Connect that powers customer care scenarios for the likes of United Airlines, Maersk, and large customers, right? And the key is that this is available globally in all markets on the AWS platform. We have 195 markets today across the world, and our bar is 5 nines SLA, right? So SLA has to be super critical for large customers, particularly when it comes to voice. But today, I'm really excited here to show you what we have built, building with partnership with the Novasonic team for an AI receptionist use case, right? So previously, all of these workloads were hard to deploy, manage, and for example, if you're a bank and after 5 o'clock, there's nobody there to answer the phone. So what are you going to do, right? So you don't have staff in those locations. Or if you want to call a pharmacy and then I want to update my prescription or do a refill after 5 p.m., there's nobody. So that's one case where you're seeing a lot where customers want to do less with more. And so they're using tools like AI Receptionist for building that. The other scenario that we're seeing is that cyclic. For example, you have large demand during a short period of time, like tax season is a typical scenario, right? So you want people to able to answer questions, answer the customer calls, book appointments, using the tool handling that we talked about, even transfer calls to people who might be able to assist with all the information. How many of you have started a call and had to repeat your information 3 times over when you call customer service, right? So for me, it starts with my last name, and it's complex, and so I have to go with P for Pennsylvania and A for blah, and then by the end of it, I'm so tired, right? So, but things like the multimodal input kind of gives you the ability to text it, right, or put it on a website, so you don't have to specify or call things out. And lastly, but not the least, what these tools are doing is helping customers prioritize their employee time for the high-value customer interactions, so that you can provide really good customer service. So let me show you a demo of how this works. But before that, very quickly, so if you if you call any business, what we do is that we have a receptionist that answers the phone, and it is powered using the languages and the voices that the platform has, and then we train it with a knowledge base. It could be, for example, if you're a pharmacy, you can take all of your pharmacy information and input that, and so it creates a knowledge base. So it can answer questions about medicines, products, hours, name it, right? And then thirdly, it can take actions. For example, you can book an appointment, it can schedule an appointment, it can look up your data from a CRM system and know your account information, right? And then when you need help, you can say, hey, I need to book an appointment with blah doctor, for example, right? And then if that's a complex task, then it transfers to a live person, so it's human assisted, right? And that person already has the knowledge that got told to the AI receptionist, so then you don't have to repeat yourself. So I'm going to show this to you in action, so to kind of make it real. So here, this is a demo we built, and we're actually building it for a customer. I cannot name them, but they're a large tire chain in the US, and they do a lot of tile stores across the West Coast and the Midwest too. So they have thousands of tile chain stores, but they don't have staff to manage all of those, answer those calls, right? So what they want to do is hey, somebody has a problem, call in, try to automate 50% of the questions, and answer them, and even do the appointment handling in an automated way so that the technicians can focus on actually fixing like tires and car problems, right? So that is their goal. And so we built this for them in mind. And then let me just play that here.
Hello, welcome to Technology Tire's emergency service. I can help you in Spanish, English, French, or Hindi for your tire emergency. Speak in your language of preference. How can I assist you today?
Hey, I have a tire blowout and I need a complete replacement.
I'm sorry to hear about your tire blowout. I can help you get that sorted right away. To get started, could you please share your phone number with me? This will let me look up your vehicle details and account information. Great. Thank you for sharing that. I found your account, Ame. You have a 2024 BMW X4. Since you mentioned a tire blowout and need a complete replacement, let me present the tire options available for your vehicle. Just a moment while I pull up the options for you. Perfect. I have the tire options for your 2024 BMW X4. Here are your 3 options for a complete tire replacement. Option 1, Michelin Pilot Sport AS4, premium performance tire with excellent grip and handling. Option 2, Pirelli Cinturato.
I'll take the Michelin Pilot, please.
Excellent choice. The Michelin Pilot Sport AS4 is a great option. To schedule your tire replacement, I'll need 2 more details. 1, your current location where you'd like the service performed. 2, your preferred date and time for the appointment. Could you share those details with me?
I'm at 67 Broadway, Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'd like the technician to be here somewhere between 11 a.m. and 12 noon.
Just a moment. I'm getting that scheduled for you now.
And while you're doing that, do you have any towing services in case you're not able to fix it here?
Yes, we do offer towing services if tire repair is not successful, or your vehicle needs to be moved immediately to avoid a potential hazard. Your appointment is now confirmed. Your appointment number is Tire 260715. A technician will arrive at 67 Broadway, Las Vegas on November 26th between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. to replace the tire on your 2024 BMW X4 with the Michelin Pilot Sport AS4. You'll receive a confirmation call 30 minutes before arrival. Please make sure your vehicle is accessible at that location. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's all. You've been great. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Ame. I'm glad I could help. Your technician will arrive shortly and will get that tire replaced quickly. If you need any further assistance, don't hesitate to call us. Have a safe day.
What do you think of that? You know, the best thing I like about that demo is that it got my name pronunciation right. Because my name is complex and all it's simple, but most of the time it gets pronounced as Amy. So you can even train these models for the correct pronunciations and the phonetics to kind of power a great customer experience. A few things I'll call out that we talked about that we used here. One was that we use a multimodal dialogue, so they can enter a phone number, you can specify an address, credit card number, all of that. Okay? That's very easy to provide, right? The second thing is that, like bargain, which is I don't have to wait for all the information before I can talk back, and then the model will recognize that and respond appropriately. That's the second one, right? And so this is actually real, and then we are planning to roll this out, sometime early next calendar year to our customers. So you see the power of this tool set and what it can do for customers, and then essentially revolutionize the voice interactions that you may have with your employees or your customers on a day-to-day basis. I want to thank Veer and Ankur and team for letting me be part of this, and then thank you for being at reInvent. I think it's on the questions next, right?
Thank you, Amay. All right. That brings to the end of our session, but I want to point out a few links and open up the floor for questions. Here's a link to the user guide, our technical report, which has all the benchmarks that we talked about. The user guide has code samples and other details on how you can prompt the model to make it work for different use cases. And I also want to point out 2 other sessions that are related to Sonic that the team is doing to really give you a hands-on experience in building applications. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.